the Rock Roundtable series on Talking About Rock with today's guests, Rozzik and Steph Honde. Welcome to our second episode of our Rock Roundtable series on Talking About Rock. Each episode, we bring you two special guests to discuss topics in music, media, or the entertainment world. We bring you these topics to discuss with our guest here today. So let's say hello to and meet our two guests. First, we have up returning guest Rozzik, the bastard child of New York City, fresh from his shows opening for Ace Frehley. How's it going?
Going good, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, let's also say hello and welcome to Steph Honde, Hollywood Monsters, SunRoad, Alpha Mountain Dude, and of course, Scream Taker with Vinny Appice and Jim Crean. Man, you're all over the place too, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. I have a lot of things going on.
You are a busy guy, no doubt. So we just wanted to bring you both on here. Thank you so much for taking the time. We wanted to discuss a couple topics that we think are relevant for you guys right now. So the first thing I wanted to bring up here is obviously what's happening now, and it's been happening a while with the streaming services, right? That seems to be like the new record store, really, right? So you get the electronic thing, basically. And how does it affect, artists today? I'm looking at some numbers online, right? And so I wanted to go over them real quick here. So if you're streaming on Spotify, according to the internet, which we know is never wrong, right? You get on Spotify, you're getting like 0.00318 cents a stream, right? On Amazon, you're only getting 0.004. You're getting 0.00402, so a little bit higher on Amazon Music if you're working that out. And Apple Music is 0.008. So I guess what that basically works out to is if you get 1 million streams on Spotify, you're getting around $3,000 if you get 1 million streams, and on Apple Music, you get about $8,000. So let's start with you first, Core. How does this affect you? And do you watch this and do you see the streaming numbers? Is that something that's in your mind a lot?
Yeah, absolutely. The streaming game is a strange thing. I find that I hate to sound like an old guy or something, but it's just weird. Like if you're doing a very specific niche genre, then sometimes algorithms can work to your advantage. If you're like some sort of emo band or a scene core band, or if you were an established band for a certain classic era, then yeah, the algorithms work to your favor sometimes organically. Right. But being that I've been an independent artist that was on a well-known independent label that frankly did not push me on Spotify, and my genre is kind of a mixed bag genre-wise, Spotify hasn't been too kind to me. For us to manipulate that, we'd probably have to spend a lot of money on ads, which is something we'll probably do when we release new music properly independently this year. But having said that, yeah, Spotify hasn't been too kind to us, but there's a lot of factors that go into why it hasn't been too kind to us. There's a lot of this, like I said, there's ads, there's the genre, there's the affiliated artists. There's a lot of this mystery sauce that sometimes doesn't apply to every artist, unfortunately. But having said that, it is hard for us because we are very much an old school band. Even if our sound is a mixed genre, we still come from that old style of we play shows. I find that we make a very good first impression. People see us open up for Ace or other bands. We make a great first impression. You come to the merch table, you buy a record,
right? Right. Yeah.
And
I think you hit it on the head. So it's a couple things, right? The algorithm a lot of times is against you. And what I'm reading lately too is they're starting to maybe lean towards more of what radio's kind of doing. They're going to start pushing more stuff to you. As originally when you were a Spotify member, it was cool because it was like your jukebox, right? You would go in there and I'll play what I want, and then Spotify got used to, and then it started pushing you. But they're going to get a lot more aggressive with that. That's going to be coming up. So
and that might be a good thing when I finally release new music. Maybe Spotify and us can work together, you know, and then they'll push push our ads when we pay for them.
Right.
But having said that, it's been tough for us because we have been an old school band that plays live, sells a lot of units, old school physical CDs and vinyls. You know, people say CDs or whatever are dead. Our old record company didn't even care. They're like, go ahead, make your own CDs now. We don't care anymore. And I'm like, but we're selling thousands of units a year.
Right. Yeah. It used to be all units used to be the thing you were looking at, that word, right? Now you're looking at streams and stuff, right?
Yeah. So for us, it's kind of weird because I'm going to be hoping to shop our new music once it's done to maybe some labels just to see one last gasp. Does anybody want to work with me? And I'm worried because I'll be able to tell people, yeah, we're selling physical units every day, but our Spotify numbers aren't the best. And I feel like more labels now care more about, it's like the new Facebook likes, you know, it's like they care more about the Spotify numbers instead of, hey, people physically saw us in real life and bought a physical CD. Like you would think that would be more important. So I guess we'll see what happens on this next cycle.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Steph, so what's your take on this? What's going on with all the streaming services?
My take is like we have to work on our instrument for hours and days and years. Then we have to rehearse, and then we record our music that we produce ourselves. Then we luckily find a label, they put that on Spotify, and we have 0.00033%. It's just ridiculous. I mean, and you have to pay for the ads and everything. I mean, we are paying to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think you think this is like more of the record companies' fault, kind of selling their catalogs to Spotify? You know, everybody kind of wants to kind of place the blame a little bit.
It's the labels, the Spotify, and musicians as well.
Yeah.
Because musicians are starving to be famous, not to have money, but to be famous. So they will do anything to just have some likes on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. And then labels, they don't take any risks anymore. They're just like, okay, like you said earlier, okay, I want to know how many likes you have on Facebook, and maybe we're going to do something. We don't care about if the music is good or not, if there's something to do with you guys. I just want to know that you already have all the fans, so we don't have to do any work, nothing.
Right. There's no band development like there used to be back in the day, right? You get a chance to put out an album or two and try to create a following. There's none of that.
You look at Alice Cooper back in the days. Is like, I don't know how many albums he had to release before he got to, in order to get famous.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the beginning, Frank Zappa, when he signed Alice Cooper, was like, I don't get your music, but I'm going to try something. Yeah.
Do you think that's related like to the short attention span of the average listener? Like they don't want to give music bands a try? Do you think that's what it is, or it's just record companies saying we're not footing the bill?
Because I think labels don't have any money first, and they don't, again, to take any risks. They and I think a lot of them don't care about music.
Right.
That's
they're looking at the numbers on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's all
they're looking at. Right. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Why is this number that, or why is this number not that? Right.
So to be frank, so there's a lot of people, a lot of band who buys the views on YouTube.
Right.
Because I saw the numbers and I saw the price.
Right. You can tell when somebody's buying views, right? You can kind of tell, right?
Yeah, of course. But if you want to get 1 million views, you have to pay $3,000. Like if I remember well, I mean, it's ridiculous. So you're paying to get views, so you can sign with a label who is not going to do anything for you. It's like it's a Monty Python situation. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy. I don't know what the solution is. It's just astounds me. Like you were saying, You know, you guys and all the other artists spend all this time on your craft, developing these songs, working hard, you know, busting your butt, making, you know, very small amounts of money. People think you guys are all out there making all kinds of money. Touring is expensive. All this stuff's a lot of cash.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, people are bitching because the ticket price for a concert is getting super expensive, but that's the only way to make money now.
Right. They have to realize this is what happened with since all the music's streaming now. So there's no money made on the actual physical product. The only way artists are making money is doing shows, and that's what happened with the debacle, right?
And I think people are now egotistical. I mean, when you tell them, you know what, you should buy a CD because that's going to help us. Then you have the product in your hand, but they don't care. They just want, like, to have the music now, just now. They want it now.
Yeah. You know what I used to really like is back in the old days, right? You get something cool in the album or the CD, right? When Kiss came out with stuff, you get some stupid little cool stickers or a love gun. You know, you got all this little extra stuff back then. Now they don't want to. But
what's great as well is to go to a store and buy a CD. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going maybe to meet friends on the way. I'm going maybe to meet people in the record store. Maybe I'm going to talk to the owner. Maybe it's going to tell me to talk to me about a band I don't know about, and then maybe I'm going to end up with another CD. And that's the fact that you have to wait to buy something, that's very important.
Yeah, definitely build that up. And record stores are starting to make a little bit of a comeback, at least in our area. I don't know how it is all over, but some places, yeah,
here too. Yeah, the vinyl is okay now.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, so I guess we'll just keep an eye on this, and hopefully, you know, I'm sure it's going to get more difficult, not easier. I know a lot of bands just say forget any labels, and they put out some stuff themselves, and they try to stream it on their own sites, and I know they struggle with that. And that kind of leads into my next question, and we'll stick with you for a minute, Steph, I guess here. So what aspect would you say is most challenging for you today as an artist? Is it promotions, tour expense? What do you think is the most challenging thing for you as an artist today?
Go.
Yeah, do you want to take that one, Steph?
It's to go on the road.
The touring is the most difficult. Music, well, you're in France right now, right?
Yeah, but the music thing is like it's the easiest part to write, record, play. Now it's nothing compared to all the things we have to do. I mean, we are musicians, and we have
that used to be the difficult part, right? To get studio time and pay for, you know, producers and all that. Now you can do it wherever, right?
Yeah, I have everything in my living room now. So if I have an idea, I can just go over there and I do all my stuff.
Yeah. So that's why the tickets are so expensive, folks. All these expensive tour stuff. And would you agree there, Core? That's the main challenge you have as an artist. I was reading some of your history that you've gone through in the past year, and I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but you had some rough stuff on the road. You had some, you know, transportation issues, some health issues. You know, the last tour was tough for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, they all happened on the same run. I literally started having a failing gallbladder, and then on the same run, my front axle just melted off.
Yeah, I saw you post about that. I was like, holy crap.
I didn't really publicize it at the time, you know, with everything we were going through. Just because I don't know, I didn't want to be one of those artists like, oh, woe is me, give me money. No, I paid money out of my pocket to fix the thing, but it definitely sent me back quite a lot of money.
Right.
Which no one could anticipate it. I mean, the car was fine until it wasn't. I don't know how it was like a freak accident. I don't know how it just literally melted off one day. Thank God nobody got hurt. Right. But yeah, touring is expensive. And yeah, sometimes when you go out in a perfect world, sometimes you're just living comfortably on the road. Sometimes when you come home, there's only so much that goes back into the band's pocket. You got to treat the band like a company. So sometimes even the money that's quote unquote a profit isn't exactly a profit. It's money for the next run, or it's money to make the next batch of merchandise, you know? So
reinvest that into the band, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, you have to treat it like a business, and yeah, it is very hard sometimes to get into the green. So touring has been difficult in that sense, but for me personally, as an artist where I'm at, my biggest struggle has been trying to find ways to obtain a proper booking agency, to have proper representation. I'm very lucky and blessed that I'm in such a unique situation that I still self-book a lot of stuff, and I have little pockets of places where I can book myself and make an okay return. And obviously I've been opening up for Ace Frehley now for almost 2 years, which has been fantastic. But believe it or not, for whatever reason, that still hasn't made the industry go, oh, okay, well, we'll sign you to our roster, and then we could put you out with this person, that person, that person.
Right.
For whatever reason, that hasn't materialized. And from what I'm being told, it's probably because of the Spotify numbers, and that I need to put out new music, which is what we're working on now. But then I have to make sure those have big Spotify numbers.
Right.
So it's kind of this,
it's a never-ending
really
cycle.
weird, like Steph was saying, it's not just, oh, you're a good artist, you're a good musician, you're professional. It's not just, that's not enough.
Right. And you don't even have to be that nowadays, right?
No,
you don't actually.
You don't have to be a good, that's what drives me nuts, right? You don't have to be a good, I was talking to
the funny thing is that a few days ago, I was talking to a friend, and it was because we were doing a recording, and we were talking about the fact that we have very expensive guitars, very expensive amps, and in the end, people listen to your music on your phone. That was the point.
Right. Yeah.
Although it sounds great on a phone nowadays, they've really tweaked it,
Yeah,
but still, you can make whatever sound like whatever you want in today's.
On the good side, I'm sure there's a way to change everything, but we haven't found the right way to change the music business, and there must be a way, because people are still interested in music.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a big change in all the different things that are going on with AI and video. I think there's going to be this weird shift of things coming up too.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but just from what I've seen in the last couple of years of the show we do and how we interact with the fans, our fans have always been more than happy to buy a CD or a vinyl. And like I was saying, I think our numbers in physical units are more impressive than our streams.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. You sling CDs when you get to play live. So people, they still want to play buy the physical album.
Right.
It's the label.
Right. They want to buy the album. They want to get you guys to sign it. All that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the stores and the labels. They don't want to take any risks. They don't want to spend their money. So, but if you don't present something to the public, I mean, you have to make them want to buy something. If you say, okay, it's on Spotify, whatever, go and figure it out. They're not going to sell anything. You need to have a product to sell it, to advertise the product on the internet, on the magazines, everything. They have to work. They have to move their ass.
Yeah. You have to have a whole media campaign lined up and ready for that. Exactly. That's the way of things nowadays, for sure. So the last thing I wanted to kind of discuss with you guys quick, and Corey already kind of touched on this a little bit. Guys, got any stories or experiences from the road you maybe want to share with our audience? Corey, you already shared something, so I don't know, Steph, if you have something that maybe comes to mind that you want to share with our audience or listeners.
What, something crazy? I have so many crazy things.
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I've opened for AC/DC in Paris. It was at the biggest stadium in France, so we had to play in front of 80,000 people, and I received a call just a week before the show. We didn't know we were going to play.
You got to love that. Oh yeah, in 2 days we need you here.
Yeah, so I received a call at midnight, and the producer calls me and says, "Are you available next week?" I say yes. Okay, bye. That's all.
He didn't know what you were saying yes to.
No, and then he calls me back and say, okay, now you're going to play with AC/DC next week. I was like, okay, bye. And we went on stage without any rehearsal, nothing.
So you opened for them, or you were playing with them?
We did open for them twice. So that's kind of scary when you don't have any rehearsal or nothing.
Right.
I did the same when I used to play for Paul Di'Anno.
Right.
I went on stage. I met Paul Di'Anno on stage.
Right.
So we didn't rehearse with him, nothing. We did rehearse on stage.
You just went out there and let's do some tracks, and but it all worked out, or was there some crazy stuff going on? It worked all right. Okay, so that's a good story. So it wasn't like Core going through all those issues.
But I didn't get to move that much on the first night because I was pretty stressed.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you're playing
because
just a couple of fans.
Yeah, I have Paul Di'Anno on my left that I don't know.
Right.
I know his music and I know. What he has done very well, but we never met before, and we're playing in front of I don't know how many people. It's like it was weird.
That sounds very, very cool. All right, so that's it for some topics. So I wanted to throw some trivia questions at you guys here a little bit, and we'll wrap things up. We'll see how well you know some of the folks that you've played and toured with. So Core, let's start with you. We got a couple trivia questions here. Hope we don't throw you for a loop on these too much. So let's start out with what song on Ace's solo album in September 1978 reached number 13 from his solo album from back in the day. So that was the album with just his face on it when they released all the solo albums, because they kind of weren't getting along, and they all decided to kind of do a little side project thing. And Ace's really is probably the only one that's really the most memorable, I think.
There's a couple of great songs on the Paul Stanley record that I actually sang at Kiss Cancer Goodbye this year. But I would agree that Paul Aces is probably the stronger of the four. I'm gonna have to go with probably was the most mainstream song, and I'm gonna have to go with New York Groove.
New York Groove. Yep, there you go. Very, very good. Very, very good. All right, so let's go over to Steph for one here. We'll mix it up. We'll go back and forth here so we don't put you guys on the hot seat totally. So Steph, you played with Vinny Appice a little bit. What's Vinny Appice's middle name? This one's kind of a little tough. I mean, I didn't know. I had to look it up because he never used it. Yeah, I
don't remember. Tell me.
Samson.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it is Samson for his middle name. All right, yeah. All right, so let's go back to Core here. We'll round two more for you here. So let's see what we got here. Ace Frehley's first song that he sang with Kiss.
Oh, Shock Me.
Shock Me. Yeah, very good. There you go. All right, cool. Yep. I got to give you some harder questions. Those are probably a little.
I'm glad I'm not like a little
too easy myself. I was trying to find some more difficult ones, to be honest with you, but there's not a ton about Ace's really early stuff. So, So what are you gonna say? Let's go back to Steph here. So this is really a trivia question. It's more just a question I wanted to throw in there for you. So what's the release date for the new Screen Taker album with Vinny Appice and Jim Crean? Come on. What's the release date?
I have
we need a release date.
I have no idea. I've done all the demos, and now I'm waiting on the guys to record their parts. So
yeah, because I'm stalking your page looking for dates, and
yeah, me too. I'm looking for dates, and I'm also working on an album with Mark Bowles.
Nice,
excellent.
Yeah, with
great singer.
Yeah. So the album is recorded. Now they are going to mix it now, and it's but it's not the Yngwie Malmsteen thingy. It's more rock, more actual. There's Steve Mann on keyboards. The guy from Energy. Yeah. There's I have a brain fart. I don't remember who's on the album.
Oh, no worries. I'm sorry I put you on the spot there a little bit, but I know you talked about it months ago, and I'm like, where are they at with this project?
So, the album with Mark Bowles should be released before the Scream Taker one.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope you'll come back with us and talk Scream Taker when this is all rolling. And we got one more for Core, because you are on a roll here, man. So this one is a little bit strange, but a lot of people kind of know this. What was unusual about the shoes Ace wore his Kiss audition?
What was unusual about them?
Yeah,
If
what
I'm
was-
not mistaken, they were not the same color.
Exactly right. Exactly right. He was wearing one red and one orange
One
shoe to the
orange.
audition.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This man knows his Ace Frehley. So what's going
Yeah.
on in the core Rozzik camp? You said you're talking about recording some new stuff.
So so during the pandemic, I was working with my initial production team that did the first record. And then as I relocated to Pennsylvania, I'm now working with a new production team, which consists of Daniel Mulch, who is a local producer engineer. He's basically Andy Wallace's protege, who is a legendary engineer. So Dan has worked with Andy on mixing all the last couple Ghost records, Avenged Sevenfold's new record.
Yeah. Love them. Yep.
And I'm a huge Ghost fan. I think, being that we're we don't sound like Ghost by any means, but I think we're definitely that new wave of like new theatrical kind of old school hard rock metal.
There's a mixture now, right? There's like a mix. It's like metal. It's like like theatrical. It's like a little poppy. Yeah.
Right. So we're trying to do that, but probably still a little bit more modern American. But because of that, Dan fell on our radar, and then it just so happened that his studio is where I moved, which is like, what are the odds of that?
Perfect.
So and his manager / co-producer is like a fella named Josh Balls, who is a local Pennsylvania entrepreneur. He was the original keyboard player for the goth band Motionless in White. So I'm kind of around a new group of industry characters here. So I did vocals on a new song last month. We have a lot of stuff we recorded with the last production team. We might be kind of shaping with the new production team. We're just kind of figuring out which songs to do. But yeah, the goal is to release a couple of new songs this year. It's just a matter of, are we going to get a real label to pick them up, or are we just going to do it independent? So we're still kind of figuring that out, but we must, and we will release new music this year somehow, some way. I'm back out with Ace in the Midwest in a few weeks. And obviously with Ace putting out a new record and everyone being really excited about that, fingers crossed, I'm hoping we will go along for the ride as well this year and do more stuff with Ace. So it's the beginning of the year, so things are always very quiet this time of year, unfortunately. And as you know how the business is, usually all the good stuff happens last minute, so we just have to be ready for it. So
exactly.
But we're hoping for a good year of new music and more shows. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we hope you'll come back and keep us in the loop on what's happening with you. Yeah, I really like the stuff coming out from Ace's new album, 10,000 Volts. Sounds very, very cool. So that should be a pretty cool tour. But yeah, definitely been waiting for music from the core Rozzik camp for a little while. So let's hope we can get that rhythm. All right. Well, thank you guys both so much for joining us on the second edition here of our Rock Roundtable on Talking About Rock. I want to thank core Rozzik and Steph Honde for being with us. Guys, It's been great. Thank you so much. And if you folks out there have comments or questions or stuff you'd like to discuss at the next Rock Roundtable, email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. You can like us and follow us on all our social media. And tune into our next episode. We'll have new guests and new interviews on Talking About Rock. Thanks, guys. Talking About Rock is sponsored by School of Rock, North Buffalo. Call 716-317-7625 to rock.